everyone, it's Mies. Good morning. It's early morning for me. I'm making this before I head off to work for the day. So what I have for you today is a very different kind of game. uh, One, it's going to be a loss. Your girl's going to take an L on this one, whether we like it or not. Two, it's in the Ragnarok. Um, Ragnarok is a ship that I hear a lot of people say is possibly the worst BB at its tier. Sorry. Um, as well as possibly one of the worst BBs in the game. But, as you know, your girl likes to play bad ships, so here we go. I was, ever since I got the ship, running a dispersion build on it, and it just never seemed to hit. So I had all these negatives, you know, because a lot of the dispersion perks come with like a negative effect. So I had all these negative effects on the ship, and it just still didn't feel like it had any kind of decent dispersion. So I changed it over to a secondary build. And this is the first game I'm testing it PvP with a secondary build. And definitely some different results from the dispersion build. So let's get into the gameplay. This is DD. I asked him to go down the channel with me. He said he would. We're in the middle spawn, so we're not taking anything from either side, which is important because the two flanks are going to get wiped out. And by the time the fight's over in the channel, when I come out, it's basically solo warrior time. So, I'm just making the point that it wasn't, you know, we didn't take anything away from either of the flanks, so whatever happened on either one of those sides happened naturally. The only two that go down the channel from the blue team are the DD from the mid spawn and myself, and there will be one BB and one BB from the red team that come down to challenge us. This P Frederick, unfortunately for them, does go, so our DD is gonna absolutely violate that P Frederick, which should give our team an advantage, but I don't know what goes on the flanks, but they get wiped out super quick. We're gonna see that here in a second. So we start making our run down the channel. Mass is already down in the mid. He's already making contact down there. I'm trying to get to him as fast as I can. Do have a little more speed and maneuverability since I have a secondary build on here now rather than the dispersion build. Yeah, even with the dispersion build, it wasn't hitting, and like, I don't know, it wasn't doing it for me. You know, it was like a lot of 30, 40, 50,000 damage games in it, and it wasn't cutting it. Like, especially at tier 6, I'm used to so much bigger games out of my BBs, and, you know, 50, 60k. So that P Frederick is gonna bleed to death, he's done. The Mackinson comes charging in here to get our DD. Get some vengeance for this PF. But he has no idea I'm waiting here for him. And me and this Mackinson are gonna have a really, really good fight. Really good. And I very much appreciate the player on the other end here. There's gonna be a point where they could take a ram on me. They have a lot less health than I do. It'd be a good ram. I would have probably rammed. And instead, they start to steer out, and when I see them steer out, I'll do the same. And we end up finishing it out in an actual fight rather than anybody ramming anybody. Which is rare and cool. Usually I just assume people are gonna ram, so I just ram right back. Like, but this guy, when he sees me turn towards him, he actually tries to steer away. Once I see that, I end up steering away and finishing out the fight. And I'm glad I did. It was a really good fight. So he's already down on HP, mostly thanks to our DD. Our DD's gonna get bagged here in a second, unfortunately. Those secondaries on Mackinson are no joke. So what I'm trying to do right now is just stay with the HE, keep fires on him, just kind of chip away at his damage until I can see some kind of opportunity to go with an AP shot. I know I can overmatch his bow, but I just don't trust these guns. They remind me a lot of like West Virginia guns. Like when they hit, yeah, it's awesome. They're wild. And West Virginia's guns have a feel like that. Like they can be really wild at times. These big guns definitely are the same way. So here we're just reversing. Drawing him in. I don't want to go out chasing him out to where his team's gonna have all kinds of crossfires on me, so we're just pulling him into the trap here. And the way he's charging in here, like in my mind right now, I'm like, okay, this guy wants to ram him. Like, he's going for a ram. So now you can see, I'm like, okay, well, you know, if he wants to ram, let's ram. Just punch out the throttle. Like, let's go. You wanna ram? We're about even on health. But this is where I see him start to steer out. So now you see what my input is. I start turning away from him. I didn't have a good shot set up because I wasn't expecting to have to shoot like that. I literally thought we were gonna ram each other. But if he wants to fight it out, I'll fight it out. Honorable thing to do. And one thing I don't think the IJN BBs get credit for is their secondaries, you know, like, talk about secondaries, everybody like thinks Massachusetts, especially the German lines, like, the IJN secondaries really aren't that bad. Especially the HE on IJN secondaries with like the ridiculous fire chances, just, I think IJN secondaries are just very underrated. There's a couple other IJN BBs that I mostly run dispersion builds on, but I've taken out with secondary builds, and they can be like really, really fun secondary builds. Like I take my my Mid-C Blackout with secondary build on it. It's not, you know, the best brawler, but it can be really fun. Like they have some good games doing it. So we're gonna put this Mackinson down. That was a good fight, but the fire's caught up with them. I'm running a very anti-fire build. I'm running... Like, yeah, I have the secondary commander, but a lot of the other perks that I'm running are more tanky kind of perks. And there's the first metal, Arsonist, and now from here on out it's just gonna rain metals. So it says 3 ships left, the other 2 ships are pretty much dead. The carrier is gonna be done for here in a second. The other BB is gonna be done for. We're down on caps. There's no way I'm gonna win this on points. So I'm basically aware at this point, like it's either just come out swinging and kill everybody, or it's no. So I just decide I'm gonna have fun with it. I'm like, okay, you know what? If y'all gonna kick me out, I'm gonna make a scene, because I'm that girl. So that's what we're gonna do, is come out here and make a scene. So now I got this BB out here to my right, which is a Fuso. We're gonna kind of touch him up a little bit here, and you can see he starts backing up already. Wants no part of it for whatever reason. with how low my HP was. He's a Fuso, you know, if he goes HE and just starts smacking me with HE, he's gonna have me down in no time. So yeah, he goes behind the island. We're gonna turn. We know the carrier's over here, so we're gonna go after the carrier. Because why not? He's squishy. He's right there. Yeah. I'm so not sure what happened on these flanks, like how they collapsed so fast, but they did. Start touching up the Seraph. He's gonna try to make a run for it. He thinks he's fast enough to get out of here. And we're just not having it. So you see my secondary is engaging now. I'm not gonna turn to look at what they're firing at. I'm looking at the mini-map to see what they're firing at. And I'm also using the mini-map to understand, okay, there's a BD at my 5 o'clock, I need to angle to him. There's a DD at my 8 o'clock. GD is now dead. That's close quarters. Add that to my little metal rack up there. Oh, depth strike. Let's put that on the metal rack. And this Ragnarok came out of this channel and just absolutely went ham with no HP, all beat up. Clear sky, throw that one up there. My whole team's dead and I'm out here causing problems. Get a really nice first smack on this Atlanta. And then I can't catch that Citadel again for the life of me, and I should have just, after that big smack, I should have just gone HE. That's my undoing, that I stay with the AP, because now I'm just going to overpen the absolute living hell out of this Atlanta with these big 16-inch guns. I don't even know if Ragnarok gets 16s. I thought they were 16s. I'm pretty sure it's just an Nagato. I have to go look that up. So yeah, I've got no HP left. This is pretty much gonna be a wrap right here, but it was fun while it lasted. And I get the last fireproof metal there at the end just to add to my metal rack a little more. So that was it. I just thought it was an interesting game, and it's in a ship that normally people don't think of performing well. So, thank you. Have an amazing morning. Hope you enjoy, and I'll catch you later. Bye.